What's up, guys? nethervvoid here with more Elite Dangerous Space Truckers for you. Season 2, Episode 10. I have not posted a Space Truckers in over a week, I think. I know last week I was really trying to get the last of Civ BE done because I wanted to start a new series that actually started yesterday. Yeah, because I think I'm going to post this one tomorrow. Dungeons and Endless posted yesterday. So, getting back into this, it's been a little bit harder for me to do Space Truckers because I just don't have enough topics right now, and I really need to sit down and think of some more topics. They were coming to me quite regularly, but I've been really, pretty much super busy at work and have not had a chance to really sit down, to think, kind of let my mind wander, in a sense. That's kind of how I come up with these topics. I'm just kind of, well, it's not just that, but it's also like I'll be reading Twitter or something, and a topic of conversation comes up, or I'll watch a video, and I think, wow, I'd like to talk about that. I used to think about that quite regularly, and now it's like those moments pass me by, and they never get written down as a good topic. So I need to get back to that. I've just been so busy at work and some other things on my mind that I have not been doing that. I've gotten out of the habit. So I remember last time we left off, we were just about ready to buy the adder. So let's look at what kind of what's our money situation here. And I can't remember where we're going to buy it, so I'm going to actually look that up. Where can I buy this freaking ship? I don't even remember what system we're in. That's how long it's been. LHS 34 cents. Let's see, LHS. Wait, let's just do Elite Dangerous. Come on, spell. Russ ships adder. Okay. So I'm going to go to the wiki here. Elite Dangerous wiki. I'm going to pull that right off the site. It's pretty easy to do. I've done this before. I can buy it. Seriously, I have done this before. It told me last time where I can buy this thing. And now I can't find it. Ah, here we go. Purchase locations. Expand. So, I need LHS blah 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 blah. Okay, 334 or 3447 system, which is what I'm in now. Whirlage Terminal. Okay, that's when the place it was spotted last, or a place you can buy it in this system. So we have, how much money do we have? 136k. That's because I've already sold off all the parts and stuff. I just need to sell off the ship now, and to do that, I have to do it at the other station, or else I'm not sure what would happen. I don't even know if you can sell off your only ship. I would imagine you can't, but we will see. So we're definitely gonna have enough. We're gonna have like 190,000 or something like that. Plenty of cash to buy the adder and hopefully equip it very nicely. So the topic, well, let's just go over the comments from episode 9. I like to do that. I like it because it spurs more, man, I hope I don't crash. I seriously have not played this game in like 2 weeks. And this is one of those games where like you need to stay up to speed on how to play the freaking game, because it's, you know, kind of twitch a little bit. It's got some skill, you know, with it. And one wrong move, especially since this is an uninsured ship. What's this guy doing? You're coming in the wrong side, bro. And you will not have a ship anymore. Okay, so we've gotten out of the docking bay at least. Where am I going again? Let me look at this other page again. I am going to Whirlage Terminal. So let's lock that sucker in. Where is this dude? Please don't say it's on the other side of the world. Because this thing, oh no, this place, yeah, it does have 2 systems. As far as I know, you can still only jump into one of the systems, so, or one side. You really, it takes like 200 years to get to the other side, so.
Drive charging.
That's why I wanted to do all this before I leave the system. I want to get in my adder, I want to get some cash, I want to at least insure the adder before I leave the system. That way, hopefully, I can have some assurance that I'm not going to just be back in a Sidewinder in 2 seconds, you know? Slow down? Why would I slow down? Oh, it's because I'm getting near the planet. Why are they telling me that? They should remove that. So, we're going to go over the comments. Hopefully I can do that and still drive, because I haven't done this in a while. Christopher Moore, have I played Euro Trucker 2? No, I haven't. It looked pretty cool. Looked at least like something I wanted to try. And yeah, I like to listen and watch this while playing that, which results in a lot of traffic violations. I'm sure it does in the game. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure you mean in the game of Euro Trucker 2, and not on the actual streets. Being a Traveler fan, I can't help but notice this game is very similar to the theme of it. Traveler is a tabletop role-playing game, and if you're not into D&D, are you into Dungeons and Dragons? In fact, yes, I am, and I don't think I'm going to be able to remember this because I always forget this kind of stuff, but I'll try to take a picture. I have some of the core books of 3.5 edition still on my bookshelf. At one point, I tried to run a campaign on that, and it just took up too much time, and really that's the reality of it for me is I don't have the time it takes to stay up on D&D, for one thing. For two, I don't like the rule 4 stuff. 8, come on, 8, 7, there we go. I don't like what they did in the version 4, because I'm one of those, what's it doing now? I don't know what is going on. I think the update kind of screwed up my little plan on when to slow down. Oh wait, now it's back. Is it still going to work? Yeah, it's down to 6 seconds. I think there's just some lag or something. I don't like, because old D&D, and this might, you know what? That's what we're going to talk about. The changes in D&D. That could be a whole video right there, okay? Because there are lots, and I have a lot to say about it. The old D&D, back when I played, in fact, I started in not even an advanced D&D. It was just regular D&D out of booklets. That's how long ago I played. And that was in, let's see, when did I start playing D&D? That was, I was in 7th grade, so I was 12. Well, I'm not going to say my age. I'm really, well, you're going to know. I'm 39, so I'm an old man. So that's, what, 27 years ago? Holy crap, man. That's a long time ago. So that's, what, 15, that's 5, that's 12 years. Let's do that. So I started playing in 88, right? Is that right? 88? Damn. That is freaking long time ago. So I started playing in 1988, and that doesn't look, yeah, counterclockwise. Okay, we're good. 1988. Played the original D&D booklets, okay? Which were really cool. Me and 2 cousins played, and we came up with our own dungeons, and, you know, because back then there might have been campaigns that you could buy, but there were very limited amount of them. Just a couple of them, if I remember correctly at all. I think when it first came out, there were none. You basically made your own dungeons, you made your own stories, you did all that stuff, okay? Which was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun creating dungeons and storylines, and for the most part, when I was 12, it was Monty Hall style loot. It was basically about getting loot and leveling your character, and wasn't that so cool, and yada yada. And I need to do this like really quickly or I'm gonna die.
Docking request granted.
I need to make sure this is done correctly here.
Scan detected.
Yep, this is not being done correctly. Okay, go. Stop. I cannot crash. I'm uninsured and really trying to get the next ship, dude. Oh, I'm going to the wrong side. That's okay. I'm on solo, right? Here, let me just do this. So I'm on pad 14. There's the pad. That's fine. Let's put the gear down. So yeah, I started playing, you know, so I would like we would create our own dungeons, our own storyline. We kind of took turns being the dungeon master. That's the guy who's running the whole, running the show, for those who don't know what that is. In a sense, if you want an analogy of that, the dungeon master is basically like the servers running the bosses, kind of. You know, it's the code running the bosses and, you know, the mobs, the AI, all that stuff that's basically the NPCs, right? That's the dungeon master. So we would take turns doing that, and I had a lot of fun. The problem really was, well, it's not a problem, it was fine. It was fun back then, I just don't have time for it, is I don't have time to create dungeons and research story and do all those other things. I just don't have time for that anymore. Even when that's all I was doing. In fact, when I was running the AD&D campaign, I had no other... I didn't even game back then. I was actually in between my time with video games. I was playing no video games. I was playing a little bit of Xbox, but not, I mean, Call of Duty or something, not stuff that takes a lot of time. I just didn't... Did I even have a computer set up? Oh, I guess I did. I was not playing games very heavily back then. And, So even then, it just took up way too much time. I was trying to do research every week on what we were doing the next week and how the campaign was going to work out and all these notes and stuff I'd write by hand and taking care of the maps and printing maps and then what would happen is I'd get all set up to go through the next part of the campaign and one of the characters would do something totally off the wall. And so all the notes I prepared for the storyline were all thrown out the window because now we're off the beaten trail, right? And that's fine. That's the whole point of D&D. It's not supposed to be linear. It's not. I mean, the DM, the dungeon master, the DM is supposed to get you back on track, sure, but they're supposed to let you wander off the beaten trail, and they're supposed to be ready for that. And so it was like, yeah, it was frustrating, and so I stopped playing it because I was so used to computer, automated video games at that point. I couldn't even do D&D anymore. It took too much time. It was too much investment for too little fun, in a sense. It was fun hanging out with everybody. That was really cool. I love the social aspect of Dungeons & Dragons. Sitting around a table, playing tabletop games is a lot of fun because you're face-to-face with people, and I really like to be face-to-face with people. I don't really like connecting over the computer, and we can actually talk about that a lot more because I have some experiences with that really changed my life about social interaction over the net. But anyway, let me get through a couple other comments real quick, and we're going to come back to this. This episode is definitely going to be about Dungeons & Dragons and how it's changed over the years and what I like and don't like about the changes and why I probably will never play again. So, Break Allegro says you're wanted at Olescu Outpost because in the last episode you tried to land on a pad that you were not allowed access to and got fined. Okay. I need to go back there and pay that probably. What about Star Citizen as an MMO? James Powell asks. I think it will be a good MMO, but I think they're really developing it slowly. And actually, there was a magazine I just saw on Twitter. Total Biscuit was saying that some magazine called it like Scam Citizen because they've taken in like 50 or 60 million bucks now, or maybe I can't even remember what it is. It's really, really high amount, and they have yet to really produce anything playable except for the arena. That's pretty sad, almost. They must have really big plans for that game. They're going to have to deliver like it's going out of style because people are putting so much money into that game that it's really... the expectations are through the roof. I'm sorry. Let's get a little bit of this going on. Let's buy the other ship before we... Cobra Mark III, we're going to want that eventually. Oh, that's not that bad, actually. 379k. We'll be working on that for next, because I can use that in a multitude of different roles. There's the adder. It is 87k, basically 88k, just like it was told to us by many, many people. Let's purchase this guy. Very cool. Sell your current ship, cost of new ship, part exchange on old ship, 36.9. Okay, that's a little less than I was expecting. So I'm going to add 50k. I'll have 50k for modules. That might not be enough, actually, because I'm going to have to fill up with cargo, right? Well, I've already sold all my other modules. Let's just do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filling my cargo up first. So I'm going to go back to my old route. I'm going to fill up my cargo space first, and then I'm going to start buying modules for this ship. Because I know last time I bought a whole bunch of modules and then couldn't fill up my cargo, so it was like kind of pointless. So here's the adder, pretty sweet. I like the little. It looks very cool. How much space do I have here? Let's go back. Return to surface. We're gonna do a launch, and we'll get back to our old station, and then we will continue. So I'm gonna have to get through these a little bit quicker. Yeah, I think it's going to have to deliver really big, and they're getting to a point where they're going to have to start delivering because I think people are going to start saying, hey, this is vapor because they aren't doing anything. And what are they doing with all this money? I don't know. And you know what? Again, this is something else I was going to talk about in a different video, and still will, I'm sure. But they're definitely going to have to start delivering. There's a bunch of Kickstarters that have not delivered anything and turn out to be busts. And Kickstarters really... I don't know if it's going to continue to be viable as a source for income for new game development just because so many people are kind of mucking it up, that it's going to kind of lose its draw as a place people are going to want to put their money. I don't know. That's just my feeling on it. It might not happen that way, but again, I don't have high hopes for a Kickstarter now. Okay, so we've got our destination. It's right there, really simple, actually. And we're already out of lock here. And this is a little offsetting, a little off-putting here. The cockpit is weird. Okay, I'm still frame shift locked. Mass locked. Okay, so thanks for all the support, you guys. I know a lot of you guys did like and favorite the video and stuff, and I really appreciate that. It shows me that you do like this series and you want it to continue. I do. This is one of my most liked series now, other than World of Tanks and stuff, and so I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to get through these a little bit quickly.
2, 1.
Yeah, Marty Lofton, thanks. You know, I do understand that if you're subscribing to that, why don't you just click like on pretty much any video? I do check my analytics a lot, and I have noticed that I'm still getting, which is good, I'm still getting a lot of my views from search and, you know, non-subscribers, but I'd still get a lot of hits from subscribers. And yeah, like you said, why aren't they liking the video? Why are they watching the videos I put out if they don't like them? Whatever, it's weird. Yeah, and Wally, like you're saying, I don't want to turn Elite Dangerous into Eve either. I don't. But you have to admit that, you know, you could keep what Elite is now, and you could expand on it quite a bit and still make both people happy. Why wouldn't you do that? You know, that's fine. Again, as long as you're not pulling a lot of development away from the original game aspects, which I think are already finished. I don't think there's a lot more to add that the original game didn't have. Correct me if that's wrong, but it seems like they've fulfilled that desire to have the original Elite back because, well, it didn't have many features. So, not really difficult, I don't think. Why is it telling... Again, I'm close to a body of mass. It's kind of stupid. It tells me to slow down. So, anyway, that's the comments. We're going to go back to the topic because we only have 14 minutes left, and I really want to make sure I cover this. Damn it, I'm trying to Alt-tab out of the game, and I can't do it. Yes, okay, that's all of the topics here, and we're almost going to miss it, but we didn't because we're beasts. So we're going to go back to D&D. So back in the day, you know, before there were good RPG video games. Now, by good, good is a relative term. It's very subjective. Everybody can agree with that. But I think most of us can agree that we require quite a bit of complexity in our RPGs or MMOs or these type of. There are a lot of games that are good because they're complex. For the people like me who like figuring out systems, I'm a little bit of a min-maxer, not too bad. I like storyline, I like a lot of those things. The earlier games, especially like in 88, the games were not very thick, okay? These games were not very complex. They didn't have vast storylines or anything like that, and that's because the limitation of technology of the day, right? So, of course, there was a lot more space in that industry, I guess, in the overall gaming industry as a whole, for stuff like Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop-style games and board games and other things like that could deliver something slightly more in-depth and complex. And so there was definitely a market for that. As video games have matured as an industry and as the capability has matured, the space for that tabletop games were filling has, you know, shrunk quite a bit because there are a lot of people who enjoy automated style games. You know, they would rather have that piece of the game automated. They don't want to spend, you know, 9 years building a dungeon if they can get one prepackaged in a video game. Why is this? I guess that makes sense that as I approached in this fashion, I'm going to have to keep turning my ship, but it seems a little bit weird. So let me request real quick before I again get jacked up. And again, I don't have any insurance on this thing. Why am I still needing to turn so much? But so I got to be kind of careful because I can't insure this thing yet. And that's an acceptable level of risk. I'm not too far into the game just yet to worry too much about insurance. Again, if this was Eve, I would care more. And I'm in solo. It's not like I'm going to get PK or anything.
Detected.
So we are on pad 6. Let's go with the gear now. Again, keep having to move over for some reason.
Landing gear deployed.
Where's my pad? There it is. Let's do some of this, a little bit of this. And yeah, it is a little odd. See, I'm offset. I'm driving on the right side. So we'll see how this works. I haven't ever driven a ship that's offset like this that had basically a pilot and a co-pilot seats. I think I'm coming in a little off here. Let's see if lining up with that white line is a good indicator. No, I'm actually way off. Okay, so it looks like I can line up with this little dotted line here and be fine. So, I think as video games, especially RPGs, became more complex, it really did eat up the space for D&D. Again, because it does take so much maintenance and time to keep it going. And you know what? Who doesn't like building dungeons? I agree with that. But I would much rather build... And this isn't saying D&D isn't bad. I still like D&D as a concept. I still like it. It's just, personally for me, there's something I like more. And so I'm going to spend my time there. But I would much rather build a dungeon, you know, graphically, digitally and graphically, like with an interface, than I would to build it on paper. One of the things that I don't think anybody's really done very well yet, they haven't done a good job of yet, is they haven't created a game that has a good enough tool set, a simple enough tool set, well, and this is a conundrum in itself, a tool set where the common user can build a dungeon and share it with people, right? Here's the catch-22 with that. And if they could do this, I would play the hell out of this, because I like building dungeons and thinking of traps and doing all that stuff. The problem with doing it digitally is you're constrained by the limitations of the software. If you want to go outside of that and they want to make it more customizable, you have to write like C# or some other Lua or some other code, right? Codes in scripting and stuff. And that really cuts out about 95 to 98% of those people trying to pick up that game, right? And trying to develop dungeons, because scripting is not a light investment. Scripting takes oodles. Oh, I actually do have 85,000K. Nice. Okay, so I'm good still. I actually calculated that correctly. But scripting takes a lot of time to learn. If you already know the language, great. But most of us don't know the language. In fact, and when they use something that's other than C#, I really don't see the point then, because most application development that I've seen and stuff that I use in SQL is all C#. So I'm not going to spend my time learning like Lua if I'm not going to use that anywhere else but this one game. If I'm learning C#, it overlaps a little bit for me in other things in my career, and if I wanted to create my own apps or something like that, I would probably want to do it in C# because it's a very proliferated language. But back to, so really, video games are just easier, okay? Scripted events are just easier. They're not more fun per se. That's very subjective. Again, like I was saying, they're just much easier. They require less investment, and I think as people get more used to less and less investment required to get the fun out of something, they're not as willing to do that investment. And some people like it just because they like doing it, and they're never going to stop. That's the people still playing D&D. They love that investment, and they don't like the shallower investment in well, not as much anyway, or they just like it differently, but they still really love all the investment required in D&D. If they didn't, they would stop doing it and play video games or something, right? But also, here's another thing that I don't like that much, and you know what, I probably should try to play at the same time. It's a little bit hard when I'm getting into the more complicated stuff for me. Let's just go with animal meat. I'm sure it's still popular at the other station. So, cargo hold full. I think I bought, yes, 6, so why don't we go out and buy some modules here? No, that's not what I wanted. I want escape to be exit. Okay. Outfitting. Is face-to-face is really cool, and that's one thing that, no, we want internal. That's one thing, that's sad. That's really sad. I'm sure we can buy something better than that. Well, it's a 1, right? Shield generator, we can sell that. Sell. We don't want that. Cargo rack 4. Fuel tank 8. Internal component. Let's see what we can buy with this. I think we can buy something bigger than a cargo rack 4, but we're going to try capacity 2, capacity. I think we can get capacity 8s are 3, I think. Aren't they? Where's the capacity 8? I only see capacity 4. There's the capacity 4. Yeah, only 2s. This only goes up to 2, I get it. So where's D? There are no D capacity. Well, not here anyway. Alright, so we'll buy a 4 for that. That's going to give us 10 slots currently. We're going to buy an 8 for this. We don't care about a shield generator. We want an 8. Capacity 4, capacity 8. Let's make sure we can't go larger. We can't. So that's going to be quite a chunk of change. Again, this is why we're... I still got 71. We're fine. Sensors. We probably still need those. Let me know in the comment section if we need those. I'm pretty sure we do. Basic discovery scanner. I don't care much about this. Let's buy and equip something else in its place. Cargo rack capacity 2. Okay, so we got cargo racks in here. 2, 3, 1. Okay, 2. So that's 8. Yeah, 22. That's the max. So let's go back to... I know I can sell the lasers and stuff and get more money, but I don't really need that currently. So let's fill up on animal meat. We should be able to fill everything. Cargo full. Alright, so now we got 22. I thought we could get more. I thought we had 22 in our previous setup. I think we can take the sensors off, but I'll wait and see what you guys say. So let's get at least one flight of this thing. Let's do this at least once in our new ship. So there's a difference between face-to-face interaction and online interaction. Here's the thing, okay? Let me tell you my story really quick because we only have a few minutes left. When I played EverQuest, when I was 20, in my early 20s, okay? I did raid guilds, I led a raid guild, I led 70-something man raids, woman, female, person raids, whatever. And it took a lot of time, okay? A lot. I played that game a lot. That's pretty much all I did other than work. And, you know, I had a son, so we hung out, we did puzzles, we did stuff like that. But, like, when he was asleep, I was playing EverQuest. Well, I also went out with friends a little bit, you know, I wasn't totally a, you know, guy just... Wait a minute. Where's this thing going? There it is. I wasn't a total introvert, you know, I hung out with buddies at bars and did stuff like that. But I really spent tons of time with my online friends. The problem was, once I got tired of that game, EverQuest, I wanted to log out, and actually, I kind of quit video games for a while because I was burned out on them. I had no friends. Now who am I going to hang out with? None of my people, you know, that I knew online lived nearby. They were all like in, you know, New York and New Jersey and other places like that, or, you know, states away, not even in nearby towns. So the problem, obviously the problem there is now I have no friends. I have no life. I have nothing to do. And that really left a big impression on me because instantly I was extremely lonely. I had a couple buddies that would want to hang out, and sometimes, you know, and I did hang out with them, but I didn't have anybody to do other hobbies with because my buddies just really just drank. They didn't really do anything else. They'd go to the beach. They didn't really have other hobbies. I had other desires, but anyway, other hobbies I wanted to do. The point was, though, and I'll never forget this, I was instantly lonely because I spent so much time talking to those online friends, and now they're all gone. It's like all my friends died in a bus accident or something, right? The only way I could talk to them is to log in the game. I could talk to them on IRC and stuff, but generally they were playing the game, so they don't really have time to chit-chat with me, right? They're fighting mobs and stuff, and they'd be like, come on in the game, dude, what are you doing? So there is something to be said about face-to-face interaction with D&D, because you can play that with your buddies, and then when you aren't playing, you can actually go do something else, which is a really big thing. I put a lot of stock in that now, and I don't really make close connections online anymore, because I can't get close with people online, because I know eventually I'm going to want to get off the computer and go do something. And I'm not going to be able to include them in my life. They're not going to be there when I want to go to the bar. They're not going to be there if I want to go to the beach. They're not going to be there if I want to go look at my telescope and invite someone. Go on a hike. They're not going to be able to do anything with me if it's not video games. So face-to-face is very, very important to me. And that's why I think D&D really still is pretty awesome in tabletop games and stuff. In fact, I'd really like to do a series on tabletop games. I was actually thinking about doing one on, there's a huge space empire building game. One of you guys probably know what it is. It's a very, very complex game. It costs a couple $100 to buy the game because there's so many parts and stuff like that, and you make fleets and different things like that. If one of you guys mention it in the comment section, I'll point it out. I'll spot it right away. But so yeah, I don't really play D&D anymore. Like, getting back to the topic, because I just don't have the time to do that. I would love to do it because I think it's great for close friendships and stuff, close interaction with people. But again, it just takes so much time. And also, really, and this is what I wanted to talk about and never got a chance to, I don't like the new rules. They're too video game-ish now. It's all about loot and, you know, character angling and stuff like that, and it's all very exact, and there's much less and less room for the DM to just to make the story fun. When I was a DM, we had lots of power, and I could do things to make the game more fun. If the characters were too overpowered, I could figure out ways to take their power away. Now, not always, you know, I tried to not be cheesy about it, but
Docking request.
you know, yeah, sometimes I had to do something cheesy, like when a player's like giving me some lip because they don't like my decision on something. I might say, "Oh, well, a rock's about to fall on your head," and they'd be like, "Oh, never mind," you know, because they're about to get killed. They don't want the character to die, so it's like I don't know. In combat, I had a lot of leeway too, and I don't mean to game the system and cheat, but I could just make it more interesting. There was more space for imagination. With the current way the game works, there's really not as much room for imagination. It's very explicit, and a lot of people like that. I'm not a huge fan. I was very much a fan of the imagination and picturing the combat in your head and not having a freaking board game basically at your disposal. I really was not interested in that almost at all. And so when I saw that was the way it was going, even 3.5 has a lot of the mechanics that I don't really like. I just kind of lost sight with it. Didn't really care that much, you know. And then because once it becomes more gamey like that, it really is a lot more about gear and stuff like that, and I don't really care that much about gear. It's really about story and character building for me, and even role play. I know in my campaign that I tried to start up a few years back, like I was saying, everybody had to role play. That was one of the things. If you wanted to be in my game, you had to role play your character. So you needed to come up with a backstory, and you needed to role play out what your character was doing, why he or she was doing it, and you had to have a reason.
Engines disengaged.
If you didn't, you would get docked XP, or maybe you wouldn't get enough XP. So here's my wanted. I'm gonna pay my fine. I see it now. Let me pay that fine, and then we're gonna get out of the game. I'm gonna sell my cargo, and we'll be done. So yes, bought the adder. Pretty awesome. Let me know what you think about D&D. Do you play D&D, and why you do or don't? I think it's a really good topic, so thanks for that topic. Would love to hear other topics like that. So let's go to Starport Services. I thought I already did that, but apparently not. This video is starting to get long, actually. So I'm not sure where I need to go to pay this. Bulletin board? Pay my fine? Contact? No. Okay. No, those are available missions. Contacts? Maybe it's in there. Local security office. No outstanding fines. Okay, well, it says I thought it said I had one. Okay, well. Okay. Freedom Party. Oh, pay bounties. Confirm. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm done with that bounty on my head. I don't know why they weren't shooting me. I'm glad they weren't shooting me, but it's interesting that they weren't. So, 20 animal meat. I have 20 cargo. I need more cargo space than that, because I'm actually going to make less than I was making before. So, I must be able to pull the sensors off or something, because this thing's supposed to get up to 22 or 24 cargo space. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Space Truckers Elite Dangerous. Let me know what you think, as always, guys, and stay frosty.